1, 2, 1, 2. Check.
Of basmati,
check.
Ed's basmati rice.
Ed's basmati rice. Ed's basmati rice.
Yeah, you're fine.
Can I do this?
This is a good coffee.
Do you think the art, when you see the art and because it looks so pleasant, do you think that enhances the coffee
Taste
drinking?
the coffee.
Do you think the aesthetically pleasing nature of the...
Where is it?
I don't know where it is, Johnny. G.
That's part of the journey though, that you drink the coffee.
I think they've done experiments with water and water containers, and the water is different in different containers, which is why you'll see like
Mountainous imagery.
Do you ever wonder with those studies why they did them?
yeah.
Sometimes you hear...
Who gave them money? Yeah.
Like, where did the funding come from to learn that,
that was from a science show, and then like even on a molecular level, the water can be slightly different. I mean, I know it's two H's and a no. I'll bring it up. I'll bring it up later.
I hope
We're going. We're rolling.
I was going to say, sorry, Ben. I think we're on, actually. Funny story. Completely off topic, and welcome to Collegians. But we had an uncle, God bless him. He's not with us anymore. But he was in America, and he came back to Australia with little metal plates. And he said, Sean, come over here. Uncle Jeff, I'm your man. What do you want? And he goes, pour yourself a glass of water. I said, yep. And then he said, take a sip. And I did. Tasted like water. What does water taste like? I don't know. It's a taste you can't describe.
It can be a bit grainy in different locations, right? It can be more pure in different locations.
Yeah. You can have more hard water, yes.
Massive placebo effect.
That's really, really strong with your voice.
Subtle.
Just
really
yelling.
subtle, yeah.
No, I like it. I like a good audio.
Anyway.
I have to do all the editing, and you can notice the difference now when you're editing.
You play around bumping people up and everything.
Yeah, and you really notice when someone goes, yep,
That's
like when
me.
you're talking. And ignorance is bliss. Like he'd never know that I have to edit that out, but I spent hours cutting out the and yeps from both of us every podcast.
This is not as fun as the metal plate story though.
The ums and ahs. The best thing about editing is you can make yourself sound really good. And you can cut out the bad bits that you don't like, the fat.
How do you make yourself sound more handsome?
You need to add stuff in. Like then basically
Like
the best thing
sound
to do
effects.
is afterwards, so you stop recording, then you go back into your room like, he's really hot. And then you put that in there in the background.
Understood.
So Jeff goes, Uncle Jeff goes, here's some, try your water. Tell me what you think. And like water's great. I love water. And I was like, strong 9 for me, Jeff. And then he goes, now put up.
What would give it the 10?
Oh, bit colder, I think.
Yeah,
I got it from the
temperature.
Tap, temperature.
Temperature's key, yeah.
Just location.
Correct, I reckon. But it was at home, so I was comfortable. Maybe if I was, on the edge of a volcano, water would drop down to an 8.5. Or maybe be higher.
No,
'cause it's hot.
surely be better.
If it's
Contrast.
an immaculate experience, surely that increases.
Yeah.
9.7.
Or after
the
winning a game of
sensation
footy.
of the water.
Cold water's cool.
Water after a run.
Cold beer is
Really,
better.
it's really
Shit
tasty.
water becomes great water after a run.
Did you follow the gymnastics at the Olympics? You know how you get a rating for the difficulty of the jump, the dive. Sorry, it's higher difficulty when you're drinking on top of a volcano.
So the water had been on this metal plate, for a good 5 minutes, I reckon. And then Jeff turns to me, square in the eyes, and goes, have a sip. I go, all right. I have a sip. Tastes like water. Give that a 9. And he goes, what do you think? I'm like, yeah, it's good. He goes, it's better though, isn't it? And I said, no. But he had bought these plates as an investment, these metal plates.
Sunk a lot of money into it.
Little bit of money, thinking that it would enhance the
Drinking experience.
the flavour, the health of the water by changing its molecular structure.
Correct.
So I thought that was bullshit, as you do. But now Ben has just said that cups can change the molecular structure of the drink inside. So maybe Jeff was onto something, and maybe we poo-pooed him too early.
Not the metal plate. It's the packaging apparently.
What do you mean the packaging?
Like what the water is in the packaging, how you hold the water.
What if it was in a metal packet?
I don't know. It's a great question.
Thank you.
Did you contract tetanus?
No.
Okay,
No
good.
tetanus.
But there's so many different types of water. There's water filters, there's alkaline water, there's like water in Melbourne tastes different to water in Perth. Have you noticed that? The tap water?
Definitely.
Different hardness.
So I don't want to besmirch anyone, but Maylands has shit water.
Yeah, there's some.
Why are you looking at me?
Travelling-
I have nothing to do with me.
Traveling across the state, playing in some interesting places for footy, and we'll get more into footy, but like you do taste a lot of interesting tap water when they fill up the water and just, I was doing
It's
it last
ball
week out at
water a lot of the
Whitford's.
time, I think.
Yeah, there's some interesting water and you just kind of drink it, you squirt it because, at quarter time, 3/4 time.
Hate that I'm dominating the conversation right now, but I kind of am. Esperance has shocking water.
Really?
So Esperance is famous for having
Hard water.
For having hard water. So I said that before. This is a thing. So hard water basically is they extract the water from limestone, like through limestone, right? Because Esperance is on the ocean, and it sort of has all this calcium come through, leach out into the water supply, so it tastes a little bit calcium.
How do you know
Like
that?
milk.
Have you
Calcified.
been
I
a
did it-
geotechnical engineer?
No, I did an investigation. It was big news. And then I went to the Water Corp and said, hey, what are you going to do about this? And they said it falls within the allowable limits.
Wow.
Because-
Of calcium in water. Yeah.
Correct. Because when water comes out of the ground and comes to the tap or wherever it needs to go before it goes into the houses, it has to pass a bunch of tests. And one of them is water
Much like the Naplan. Can be pretty difficult, isn't it? For that
I've never heard it
water.
described like Napland, but sure.
Yeah.
So
And it's getting worse.
It might be getting worse. I don't know.
The water is getting worse.
But one of the measures of water, the Water Corp, this is the overarching body for all your overseas listeners, for all your listeners that are not in Australia,
Salt water.
they say they might be aware of that. Beach, ocean. One of the measures is aesthetic. So someone literally has to be there and go, that tastes okay. And then that
taste.
means that someone passed the Esperance water as okay. Because a lot of people didn't drink it. It was kind of like a sign of being strong in Esperance.
Maybe
Like,
someone from Esperance.
yeah, because you get some people who are quite sensitive on their water.
I didn't
Get
get
some
be.
people that are
I'd
quite
want some
sensitive
really
in
high
general, I
quality.
think.
Yeah.
Well, if you'd grown up drinking Esperance water and you're at the water comp from Esperance, you wouldn't probably tell the difference. Hey,
Very
it's a
true.
lot about where you're from, context you've grown up in.
Correct.
'Cause we grew up in Maruna, and that water is
Really nice.
pure.
Damn
Oh,
water.
But
damn
is that a
water.
bias because you grew up on it?
Maybe,
Whoa.
maybe just the association to our childhoods, which was okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
It was okay.
Do you ever head back there and like take big buckets of water back here, bring big buckets of water back here
it's a
to
great idea.
reignite
idea.
that feeling of youth?
Nostalgia in a
Yeah.
cup. I haven't.
Is
Nostalgia in a
that
cup.
illegal? Are you allowed to steal water?
It's not stealing it if it's from a dam, is it?
Would you just put it in the back of the trailer?
You know, the ocean people aren't going to.
But it's illegal
Well-
to contaminate dams. That's why they're blocked off.
You can take them. Take the water, can't
Like
you?
water reserved dams.
This is my question. Can you just take the damn water? Is it your water? The damn water?
But everyone's looking at me. I mean, I just.
You're the one
you
that,
brought
you're the
up
one
the
that
water, you're the
challenged the water
knowledge.
corp.
Sure,
Yeah.
you did an investigation on
Lindsay
this.
versus water corp of Australia.
Abort conversation. I think, you know what? I know nothing, but yes, it is illegal to take water, so you shouldn't do it. All you out there that are thinking about it, don't.
It's a hot topic of conversation at the moment. Water.
So hot.
The bore water being used by Coca-Cola and those big companies.
Take them down, Ben.
Oh,
Lindsay versus Coca-Cola.
you know who's in the water biz? Rando. If you ever want to do a podcast on water,
He does FIFO.
I think this is enough. This is enough podcasting on water.
He does FIFO water. Yeah.
There's very rarely.
He's
FIFO
transporting
water.
water between, where he flies in and flies out of.
I listen to a lot of podcasts. No one has ever been brave enough to talk about water. What would you rather, a nice glass, like a pint of icy water, or a good 8 hours sleep?
8 hours sleep.
Really?
Can you combine
Huge.
them?
8 hours sleep will change your day.
Anyone else?
Yeah.
but-
Then the sleep.
But by getting the 8 hours sleep, you don't drink water for 24 hours.
What?
Wow, big challenge.
Thirst.
Does anyone else sometimes like deprive themselves of water before they go to bed so they can get up in the middle of the night and have a nice cold glass of water? Get up really thirsty.
I more
Yeah.
don't have one
Every now
right
and
before I
then,
go
yeah.
to bed so I don't have to go to the toilet while I'm sleeping.
Yeah.
I'm the opposite. I drink as much water as I can before bed and just back my body in.
Yeah.
Back my bodily functions to get through the night.
Ben has water,
Strongest
tea,
bladder ever.
watermelon. He takes all this stuff to bed so he can test his
Only
bladder.
water derivatives though.
Yeah, correct.
It wouldn't be
Calcified water.
calcified water.
Calcified,
Dam water.
uncalcified, stolen water, water that's been
the
complemented
water.
in the night. Like you like to do that, like to complement your drinks and food before you consume them.
Actually getting a fridge tomorrow and that's got a water filter. I know, la-di-da. How good's that?
La-di-da.
In the ice coming
Won't
out.
be the same.
What does water filter? What are the filters?
The
What
hardness.
comes out?
Hardness.
What hardness?
The calcium.
It's already been taken out though.
Has
There's
it?
more
But
hardness
it
taken out.
doesn't, because my water bottle, for example, if I don't wash it regularly, then all these little white specks of calcium that calcifies in the bottle start popping up that don't come out in the dishwasher. You got to manually scrub them
Because
off.
obviously hydrogen and oxygen just make calcium. Like, that's just like a scientific fact.
Do you think? Yeah, facts. Do you think?
No, and air.
And air.
Do you think the water? Do you reckon the water corporations are taking the piss?
What?
Do you reckon they're taking the piss with us?
That's a
You've
big
just come
call,
here today
really.
with a vendetta against water.
Do you think we're gonna after during this podcast, the water people are gonna come out because somehow they're
text,
listening in or they're tuning because they've tapped our phones or my phone?
Water Corp mafia. Hey.
They had little
Yeah.
Was this the
microchips
first
in
time
the
you've
water
talked about this?
everywhere. They could be pretty
in public.
omnipresent.
No, they're not. Well, I don't think I'm being tapped, but imagine that. Water
You're being
Corp.
tapped.
by the Water Corp. I'm actually a really strong
Did
proponent.
you get the joke, Ben? Did you get the
Oh,
joke?
yeah, I did.
Tapped?
Yeah.
I don't think you did. When you said, "Oh, I did," it sounded like
I'm,
you
I'm
didn't.
actually,
but you
my
only got it
mind
later.
is very preoccupied with the Water Corp at
Right.
the moment. So
It's about to rain as well. That's probably them telling us something. Yeah.
Water
be
Corp,
alright.
known for
bag might get
corporal
wet, but-
punishment.
what's the show with the mermaids? You know
The Little Mermaid?
add
H2O?
water, H2O, is that what it is?
good.
And they jump into water, they become mermaids.
Leo.
How hard is that? How hard is that water? Do you think?
Not enough.
Not
enough.
harder than that door slam.
Shit, we should have closed that.
We're going to get wet.
Oh,
Do you reckon you
no.
can click that in the mic? Do you reckon you can pick that up in the mic?
The door
Door
slamming?
slamming?
Yeah.
Yeah, it picked it up. We heard it on the earphones.
Door slams.
Oh,
All right, well, welcome back to the Crooked Smile podcast.
Yes, welcome back.
Today is a huge day. We've got on the Linz brothers, and
No.
Ben Linz today is playing his 250th game for the club.
And for some context, we're down here at the beautiful David Cruikshank Reserve
Getting wet.
in Dalkeith, home of the mighty Old Scotch Collegians, or Collegians as they're now called, with two legends of the club that have played since 2007.
Are you guys all right with this water, or do you want to move it?
I love it.
I'm okay.
Yeah.
I think I'm getting a bit more than
Your bag
Ben.
all right?
No. I'm going to move my bag.
Brownie.
You
Can
guys
do us a massive favour and just move his bag out of the rain? We can't.
Thanks,
We
Brownie.
don't
You
want
can-
to de-mic.
You can make it to the podcast. Welcome, guys. Thank you for coming on.
You're
welcome.
Peace and love.
Some club legends here, and
First time recording out of the studio as well.
well, yeah, and what a place to be as well. The club's on the edge of possible A grade promotion, playing a big game against North Frere today. Not going to jinx it.
I'm just going to interrupt you right there and just going to turn this podcast on its head. How are you guys feeling about this new atmosphere, the new environment? Are you
Nice.
getting energy
Taking
from
the
the
pod
outdoors?
on the road.
On
Campbell's,
the road.
Yeah, Campbell's
Took a while
family.
to set up.
Okay.
Been here like an hour and a half before we started.
Okay.
But
Campbell's family accounting studio is getting a bit stuffy, so it's nice to be
yeah, I'm a bit sick of the
outside.
green screen. Editing
Yeah.
with a green screen just sucks. And I wanted to.
Maybe
it's
this
a
is a
special
green screen.
occasion. Wanted to get
Look
a
at
bit
this.
of a,
Look at this green.
Yeah, it's a
majestic
great
Look how
background.
beautiful that is. It's great grass.
Well, hopefully you can
Holding
see it.
up
I'm
well.
not a good lighting person when it comes to cameras, but the post edit hopefully will turn it out all right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's all right, man.
Post, man.
I put my potions on this morning. I'm sure we'll look fantastic.
you guys look great.
Well, let me
Yeah,
turn
every
this on
morning.
its head. How do you guys feel being on the Crooked Smile podcast?
Well,
Excited.
back for the podcast. First they're podcasting us, then I podcast them, then bam, back to Ben.
That's what happens when you get four hosts.
Yeah.
trying to do a podcast
250
together.
games.
Yeah.
I'm happy just to be the talent. I don't need to be the host. You guys can host
All right.
if you
Us
want.
three
ask
But
versus
not,
Ben.
not too many questions. Actually, I prefer to be like a special comments person.
All right, answer the question.
I'm very excited to be here, actually. It's great to talk to you two guys about the day. Interested to hear more from Sean about CatChat. Trying to reminisce.
From
What's
two podcasters to another.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mm.
we can
The
get
seasoned
some
veterans
tips.
on the field and in the studio.
I'm very excited to be on the Crooked Smile Roadshow, which is this.
starting this week.
We need to get a
be
producer.
interesting,
We need,
yeah.
Did you have any CatChat producers you could recommend?
We were all, so basically what happened in 2017, that was the year, I was getting into radio and wanted to be on radio, and the best way was through community radio, which is Sport FM. And you got the number for the guy who sadly passed away, this guy called Colin Minson, who was big in whacker circles, like he's a big cricket person.
May you rest in peace.
May he rest in peace. Like a really, really lovely guy. I think we interviewed him on radio about a week before he passed away on his deathbed, and he was still, he was great talent, and he was just one of those really like, this is my time. I've had a good run. I've done this. I've done that. It's really great. Love my wife and all this stuff. But yeah, then
Very meta, isn't it? Very just getting into the philosophical.
Quite dark, yeah.
Yeah.
so let's swing it to my first time meeting Colin, not the last time
Yeah,
I spoke to him.
please.
When I was like, what about a Geelong Cats only radio show? And he's like, yep, I've got just the time for you. 7 a.m. Saturday
Saturday mornings.
mornings.
Oh,
which-
unreal.
Which everyone knows is the peak of audience
Oh, you wake up on a
TL,
Saturday
TCL.
morning and you want to know what's going on with Geelong.
Yes. So we did that for a year.
I don't know if I've ever
For
had
a
that
year?
urge.
Really?
Well, for a season.
And that was at peak Geelong as well. What year were we talking?
17. They made
Oh,
the
okay,
finals,
okay,
but they
okay.
might have lost the prelim. We came back the next year for a grand final show because Geelong made the grand final against Richmond, I believe. No. Yes? Maybe they
Doesn't make sense.
Or maybe we came back in
years
2020.
later.
Yeah.
In 2020, a couple of years later, because 2018 I was in Esperance.
Yes.
Back by popular demand, or was
Yeah,
it just
for
like
sure.
wow, Geelong's playing in the grand final? Who could we get to talk about this? Who are the biggest experts of Geelong and WA?
Correct. Can you be backed by just demand and not popular demand? Unpopular demand?
Unpopular demand.
Yeah.
People wanting you, yeah.
But that was really fun. We didn't have a producer, so you'd rock up. Literally, I'd had a key to the studio. You'd rock up, make sure the logs were all good. If you don't know how it works, radio usually has like a computer screen which has a log, and on your logs you have your ads, which are really important because that's how everyone gets paid and how the radio goes to air.
Yeah.
And then you've also got like spot blocks where you can talk, which is kind of just like you stop what's going to be playing. So if you can think about it with FM radio, there's ads into songs, and then in between the songs you press pause, and then once it hits that point, it stops, and then you just keep talking. So that's kind of how radio works, and there is so
Pretty
much
simple.
kind
isn't
of.
it?
Yeah, who would have thought? Radio isn't rocket science. That's why you don't have Einstein on the radio. But he would be a good.
Good coast.
Doesn't have the he's got the face for radio. Yeah.
Excuse me.
Einstein.
My God.
And you do?
Oh, wow.
Kidding.
No, I say he does have the face for radio.
Oh, I thought you said didn't.
Yeah, I think Einstein's hot.
Einstein's hot.
Yeah, better
Intelligence.
Looking than Oppenheimer.
Intelligence.
Better looking than
Intelligence
Oppenheimer.
or hot abs? Intelligence.
Oppenheimer had, was pretty a bit of a womanizer.
Yeah.
He kind of got around the communist circles in the US.
Here's some food for thought.
Yum yum yum.
Is a skinny guy with abs real?
What?
Like
Yes. Yes.
fake
No.
abs or real abs if
Fake.
you're skinny?
Couldn't disagree with you more. Fake ads. Fake abs. Fake ads.
What do you
Fake
mean?
ads on fake abs.
What do you mean fake abs?
Fake abs.
What's a fake ab?
Everyone's got abs. If you're skinny, it's just you with no body fat, and the abs are just there for everyone to see. You
Like
don't
it's
necessarily-
it's cheating. It's not
Oh,
fair.
they're not
I see what
protruding.
you're
They're just
saying.
there.
You could have someone who has the softest core. They could be weak as piss, but
But
they've got abs.
it's muscle, isn't it? Isn't your abdominals muscle? So you can build muscle or decrease muscle.
But
So
you
you
could
might
have
have
weak. We could have weak muscle, couldn't you? But
Then
you
it
can
wouldn't
see
be.
them.
You wouldn't be able to see the abs if it was weak muscle.
No, you could. That's my point because there's no body fat around those muscles.
Everyone has abs. It's just the body fat in front of them
I
stopping
need
you
some
from seeing them.
examples of body
Cam
types,
gets it.
ectomorph, mesomorph, etc. We need to be able to look at their abs.
Can we pull that up on a screen at Collegians?
We could probably do it on. We could probably do it on Silly Sunday. Who would be the skinniest person at the club? Brownie, Wembanyama.
Wemby.
Oh, that.
I love
that
him.
brand.
I love
Yeah,
him so
Yeah,
much.
Wemby.
I was going to say Wimby or
But that's more of a body type than a skinny thing.
You don't think he's skinny?
He's just super lean. He's just super lean.
Very
Super
lean.
Yeah.
Kind of-
What are the other
Once
words
you
that
reach that
people
sort of
use?
height, it's like
Wiry.
the Victor Wembanyama. Is that how you say it?
Yeah,
Wembanyama.
I don't
Wemby.
Wembanyama.
Hold on, Wemby. Sorry, is Brownie or Wemby? People, because they might think we're talking about Victor.
He's both. Yeah.
Is how much taller is he than you, G?
He's probably
Half a head?
6 to 8 centimeters.
I deal
I'd
in
say.
head sizes. Like people do it with feet, I do it with head size. Probably half a head.
Yeah, yeah. How many centimeters is half a head?
Would you like to
usually?
be half a head taller? Or are you happy with your height?
But maybe better at football.
No,
you're pretty good.
Boo, no.
I'm happy. I'm happy where I am right now. Already
Right.
struggle enough to put on muscle. So
So if you could
Whoa,
change,
whoa,
if you could
whoa.
change anything about your body, what would you change?
abs, I'd say, yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Well, I was going to ask Ben, through 250 games of football, do you think your abs have probably helped you through the most, or
No.
what are some tips to play to longevity? I guess of 250 games of amateur football as well, because
Well, he started off at Claremont.
Oh, played a couple games at Claremont.
I've heard
rubbish
the origin
games.
story.
Okay. Yeah, pretty bad at Claremont. We tried out for Claremont together, and we made the team. I think you were in the team pretty close to straight away, but I had to battle down here. Finally cracked the team, but then I had a couple games into my Claremont career. I had a trip to Bali with my friends, and the coach was like, "Well, what's your choice, the team or Bali?" I said, "Well, I really want to go to Bali."
that's not what you're supposed to say. I don't think.
We've got a hotel on Poppy's Lane, which is like $5 a night. I can't pass this opportunity. So yeah, I didn't. I
just to interject, do you know what's annoying about that?
What?
Now, like DeGoey can do
I got
that
back in
these
the team.
days, can't he? DeGoey
Yeah.
goes off mid-year.
Well, just like get suspended for 6 weeks and then
DeGoey's
goes and does
really
weird
good at
stuff
football,
in Bali.
So are you, Medax?
Yeah, the Max.
Max.
Ask
Medax.
Simon McPhee that in 2008 or whatever the year was that we were playing.
Cancel him.
Simon's
Is that where you
Absolutely
got this
can.
surplus of games? Because you're playing 250 today. You guys
Yep.
are both playing. I'll probably give context. You're both playing at Gil Fraser Reserve against North Fremantle
Hate 'em.
at 2:30 ish.
230.
Okay, a big rivalry, and to play to qualify to get into A grade next year, which is huge. The club hasn't been in A grade since 2021.
Yeah, 2020. No, when was
2021.
2021? 2019 or 2020 we played
Yeah.
Wesley Curtin in a grand final and lost. And then we played, it was the before COVID.
Yeah.
Because the COVID year, they didn't have relegation. And so we stayed in A grade for a
Okay.
couple of years in a row. But then we got pants the year after, which was sad.
Well, the club's been almost perpetually in a battle between A grade and B grade, right?
We're
Like
an
it's
AB. We're an AB.
AB,
You know, B
yeah,
plus. We're a B plus kind of club.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
Are
yo-yo
you the
club.
record holder for games for the club?
No.
What is the record?
No. So do you want to go to the story?
Let's have the story.
It's not a great story, but I'm
No.
happy to share it.
You're a bit of a storyteller.
You guys
I'd
are
love, yeah.
You love a
the
story.
Bitcoin story,
Do you want it from my
alien stories.
Do you want it from my perspective?
Go on.
So Sean has spoken to this old Collegians player called Simon Hope. Simon Hope played 249 games, and Sean just assumed because he's the oldest person he's ever met down at the club that he had the games record or whatever. And so when he found out that I was approaching 250, he was like, G me up saying, mate, once you play 250, you've got the games record. You're gonna be like famous
Folklore.
at Collegians. Yeah, you'll be there'll be a board for you, everything. And he was like, G me up, and I was telling friends and family, I'm going to hold the record of
Ben's
games
like,
at
I'm
Collegians.
definitely playing this year. There's no way I'm not going to play. I've got this
I've gotta
record
get
in my
to the 250, yeah. Road to 250. But then, and then a couple of weeks ago, we were down at the business lunch, and Sean was talking to this old bloke, and the old bloke's like, how many games have you played to Sean? And Sean's like, 68 or whatever it is. You get there one day,
Have you
buddy.
only played 68?
Way more. But anyway,
And then
What are you?
I played 218,
30s.
19.
And then this guy was like, oh yeah, I cracked 400 games. 400? 300.
Yeah, he's got over 400. Yeah, Gomes.
But is that
Gonzo.
confirmed or is
Is that on Play HQ? I don't think.
Is that beer goggles
not.
400?
Well, I mean, he
Maybe,
seemed
could
pretty
be.
convinced, and it was fact-checked with a couple other people. And I said to him, 400 games, like you said before, 250 games of anything is a fair achievement. Like coming down on a Saturday, and it's not the hour of playing, it's the 2 hours before, it's the two training sessions you do during the week.
The rehab on Monday, the 3 hours of training on Tuesday,
Once the body
watching the
gets a bit
videos
older
of my
and-
games to, work out where I can improve.
Stretching, saunas, ice baths, like the meticulous diet that you've had for years.
So do you reckon I'm
Pizza.
Do you reckon
and
I'm
ice
two
cream.
though? I'm two in the list.
I don't know.
Or do you reckon there's other roguies out there who's played between 250 and 400?
But is there a club record of the games?
I don't
Or is
think
it
so.
just hearsay?
There's a parchment. There's a huge parchment that gets rolled out. So Gomesy, I said to him,
Ed's the holder at the moment.
Ed, the chef. Gomesy, so I said to Gomesy, what's your secret? How do you do it? And he goes, just playing the lesser grades. Just trying to
So that's why you guys came
The
down to
bare
B
minimum.
grade this
Yeah,
year.
correct. Yeah.
But if you ask me what my secret is, what the secret sauce is, it's Stingray. It's just love. Love the club. Love the people down at the club. You don't want to be playing games if you don't enjoy the people you're around, right? So yeah, that's my tip. Nothing physical. It's all mental. You can physically get up for anything, can't you?
How many games do you reckon you guys have played together?
Great question.
Great question, Cam.
Not that many because Sean's
question,
been
Cam.
Thank
been
you.
away. I reckon you would have played more seasons than me, but you've just been away and as in you've been living in Esperance and playing in Esperance and whatnot.
What's it like playing together?
Fun.
Is there a special telepathical
Yeah,
connection
intuition.
between you guys?
These
where
guys
you
are
just
twins.
know what's
just so you
happening?
know.
Yes, yeah. So this is what twins get asked. Well, I find twins get asked the same like 2 or 3 questions. That's one of them.
Identical twins.
Identical twins. Yeah. Do you have twin telepathy or twin empathy? And the answer is yes.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. So
I knew that was I missed the chance there.
So, and the thing about playing with Ben, it's great, but he never passes me the ball, which
Wrong,
is frustrating
wrong.
because I always look for Ben. Like,
I
there's
pick the best
There's
option.
many times this year where Ben's coming around the back and I'll just pass it to him because you try and get people into the game. That's
Yeah.
what football's all about. You see an easy target, share it around because if everyone gets a touch, they're up and about, it's the best thing. That's my philosophy. Like people that run and bounce and stuff, it's all very well and good. But if you can pass it off to someone and get the ball in their hand, then get it back for an easy one, then that's sharing it. Everyone feels good.
Yeah.
Ben refuses to pass me the ball.
Wrong.
Yeah, it's like an ending
Mate, I'm
thing.
pretty sure there was a game this year
like a
where
jealousy
your
thing.
first 3 touches were all from me.
Has never passed me the ball. I can't recall a single time in my life where it's ever even come close to passing
And
me
I
the ball.
reckon always
Last
good
week,
passes
passing the
too.
ball.
Did I?
Yeah, it was a bad hand pass. It went to your feet. You had to pick it up. You
Oh,
made me
that's
look.
right.
You made me look
passed it
good.
bloody 10 metres in front of me and I was have to go and collect this one.
Probably more like 8 meters.
And I
But sure.
smashed the kick straight to Minna. I was like, "Phew."
What are some of the competitions between the two of you look like in the household?
Or
You get pretty competitive.
We used to, when we were young, not anymore, but when we were younger, we used to play like football 1-on-1 against each other. And it was really funny. Sean would always win because if I ever started to do well and start winning the game, Sean had this tactic. And his tactic was he'd grab the ball, he'd move his head down like as low as he could and just charge me. And I couldn't tackle him because it would be head-high contact.
Oh.
Even though he's clearly ducking his head.
That wasn't a rule back then, was it?
I don't know.
Well, it was, but it was just we sort of weren't really aware of it. And then it's a very if you duck into it, and then if I go up, be like Joel. I was doing Joel Selwood's
Joel Selwood,
work.
yeah.
This is
Learn from the
a
best.
visual of me. So it would be like this. So he'd have the ball in his hand. Judge people.
Yeah. And what's funny
Awful.
was because it would usually that point
So I
it
could
wouldn't
never
just
win.
be it wouldn't just be like ha ha ha. Then be like I'm gonna do my tactic now. It'd be like oh watch out Ben. It'd be literally like and then I'm like
Because Sean would be losing. Sean would be like, and so he'd just go down and like do it. And I'm like, yeah.
yeah tears.
We played a bit of footy, played a bit of chess. Oh, maybe not much because Sean was rubbish at chess, actually. It's
I've heard you like chess.
Love it.
So we used to play chess. This is
The king's
used to play
game.
chess every now and again. Learned the game. Had fun playing chess. And then
You've never beaten me in chess. though.
Ben, shut up. Ben went to chess club one time at school, and then like all of a sudden Ben's
Scotch
like,
College chess.
Scotch
club.
College, I was going to say.
and then Ben all of a sudden was like, "Hey Sean, let's play chess." And I'm like, "All right, whatever." Weird. Like it's a Sunday afternoon. I don't know why you want to play, but sure. And then like he moved out of pawn, as you do. Then he's moved out his knight. And you know when you're a pleb, when you don't know much about chess, you just move all your pawns out and you just charge them up, and then maybe eventually a queen will come
It's
out.
much like real battle, isn't it?
Yeah.
Where you just don't know. You just like, just go get him. Let's charge him.
But then Ben brings out his knight as like his second move, and like I melted. I was like, what the shit is going on here?
Bishop.
Like, what is Ben going? Anyway, he rolled me because he knew an opening. Like it was the first time that any opening had been performed in the Lindsay household, and I melted. And then from there, he's like, let's play again. I'm like, because then you get competitive. Like, yeah, sure. Another same opening, beaten again, and I don't think I've beaten him since.
Yeah.
So-
Had you beaten him before?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
I reckon.
I nearly took down the number 1 seed at Scotch back in the day.
Did you do inter-house chess?
Yeah. I nearly took down the number 1, the top seeded chess player at Scotch. I think it was Yita.
Yeah,
Yita Chung.
Yita Chung.
And
A couple of years younger than us.
He was an import.
no,
Yeah.
more than a few years.
Came in on a chess scholarship.
Correct. And he was
Yeah.
very, very good.
But he
And I know what you're thinking. Yes, he did get a lot of women.
well, the after party of that match was
He
insane.
was literally the king. Mm-hmm. Chess reference.
Yes. He beat me on time.
I really thought he was a
So he
bit of a rook.
didn't even capture my king, but he just started stalling. So doing really quick
Oh.
moves.
Chess porn.
Rubbish.
Howard chess, yeah.
Yeah.
Did you see the story of the last year's World Championships for chess and the winner after the game?
Ben has. Or the answer's already yes. But
The winner after
this
the
story.
game took a dump in his hotel bathtub and then got his prize and like title taken off him for doing so after the tournament.
Deservedly. You can't just poo in a hotel.
that's so similar. That
Well,
time,
that was the electronic beads thing, right?
Oh, they reckoned he was cheating with electronic anal beads.
Which is wild. But anyway,
Bead,
sorry,
yeah.
continue.
well, that's like that time in Bali when you. But that was not chess related. That was just you
Still lost.
Never.
in the bathroom.
Never done that. No, I was actually talking to a workmate. The most obscure tournaments that you'd want to compete in, right? I'll give you the lead into this. This girl, really lovely, next month she's taking a week off work to compete in the annual International Jigsaw Championships. 500, of course, ask the details, 500 pieces. You don't know whether round, circle, landscape, picture, whatever. And you just get a bag, dump it.
It's in Perth, isn't
Your
it?
jigsaw. No, it's in Spain.
What would the prize money be?
The home of jigsaw.
Millions of
free jigsaw
pieces
puzzle.
of jigsaw pieces.
Yeah, pesos. No, euros.
I must be a couple hundred.
If there was any tournament you'd want to compete in, what would it be then? Would it be chess?
Oh, but I'd be really bad. I don't know.
Cryptic crosswords.
Yeah.
So I go home almost every day.
I hate cryptic crosswords.
I love them. So I go home every day to train my brain to stave off Alzheimer's and do as much of a cryptic crossword as I can.
And you've staved it, the Alzheimer's?
I don't remember.
think?
No, yes. Yeah, I think so. I mean, you don't. The proof
that is definitely a link.
The thing is, the good thing.
You're
well,
pretty sharp still.
Yeah.
I actually was listening to Andrew Huberman on Joe Rogan
There we go.
this week, and they were talking about doing crosswords and if it affects that. And it's more to do with
tell
the singular prefrontal cortex, and that grows or shrinks depending on you doing things you enjoy or don't enjoy.
So it doesn't
So
need to be
if
the
you
crossword.
enjoy doing the crosswords
But you
and
knew
you
that
do it
already,
every day, your prefrontal cortex won't grow. But if you hate crosswords, but you do it every day, like you hate going for a run or getting up early and exercising, but you do it every day, that's what grows it. And they find links between that and the people that live the longest and stay the sharpest in their old age.
So you got
That's
to do
the
things.
250 games. Come full circle. That's why I played 250 games to prevent Alzheimer's.
Correct.
So you hate playing
Well
footy.
done.
Well, yeah, I was going to say. So
Oh,
what?
isn't it love? The love?
It's if you hate it, it grows. If you enjoy doing it, it doesn't change.
Oh God!
no.
Oh no!
So do you do anything you
The
don't enjoy doing
smallest
every day?
prefrontal cortex.
What do you?
What are you meant to do that you don't want to do? Like work?
Like you get up early and do like an ice bath every day or something like that, and you don't like doing it, but you get
Wake
it
up
done
and
because
cut
it's
your leg
hard.
off
What
and
do you-
grow your prefrontal cortex.
Yeah, I mean,
You didn't enjoy doing it.
eye for an eye, a leg for a brain.
What's your least favorite food? I'll eat that. Gherkins every day.
Really, gherkins?
Hate gherkins.
Really?
Pickles,
Really?
gherkins. That
Oh,
family.
weird. There's like weird things.
I hate broccoli.
Really?
I
Wow.
feel like there's that thing where some people just genetically just hate broccoli.
Like the coriander.
I don't like avocado much.
Really?
I love avocado, but I hate broccoli.
It's funny. It's funny because So we're identical. So our DNA is literally the same. Like we're split egg, right? Yeah. I don't want to get into the science of it, but here's the science. No. But
One
we,
X, one Y chromosome, I believe.
For some reason, there's like little things that like we don't land on. I hate bananas. Hate them. Can't eat bananas.
You got banana man?
So you're saying it's not genetic; it could be a environmental factor.
It's nurture, not nature.
So were one of you nurtured better than the other, would you say?
Oh,
Who was the favourite?
Probably me.
Yeah, I have School of Hard Knocks, really.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
Resilience.
Sean once forgot about me in a hide and seek competition and left me to hide for days, and they thought I'd run away. So they had to go searching the town for
So
me.
we're playing hide and seek, and I just gave up because it's really hard.
I had a
Playing
really-
hard
I had
and
a
seek, and you
re-
hid really well.
Yeah,
Well-
under the bed.
But yeah, that was gonna. It was
I
literally
didn't
just
wanna
in the
one.
corner behind the bed. I just went. Down,
I went real curly.
went down to Mum and Dad
real
like,
curled.
you wouldn't believe what Ben's done. We're playing hide and seek, and he's run away. So literally, we're down at the shops, like in Maroona, being like asking, like door knocking, like, "Where's Ben?" And Ben had just taken, and we were shouting
Fell
out for Ben
asleep.
around the house. He fell asleep.
Fell asleep.
Yeah, that's how good he was hiding. He fell asleep.
I was hiding so well, I got really sleepy.
Well done. So you won that competition.
Would you ever do
yeah.
it?
So
100%.
what's the food you hate most?
Bananas.
Bananas,
really?
gherkins,
Pickles. Well, yeah, pickles, gherkins.
avocados, broccoli.
You like?
They're all healthy foods as well.
No, really healthy.
You don't tend to hate the unhealthy foods.
No one's going to say chocolate.
Well, yeah.
Last night, because it was my birthday earlier in the week, I had a few people.
Happy
Happy
birthday.
birthday.
Thank you, thank you.
What'd you get? Broccoli.
Hint.
Broccoli
Well,
cake.
from my nan and then my dad went halves on my footy regger, so that was my early birthday present. I like doing kind of things that I get a lot of use out of.
Yeah.
But from my mum, I got like a new doona,
Oh.
Perfect. Heavy.
medium, because I'm a sweater.
Oh. Okay.
Just while
Nice.
I sleep, I get hot really easy.
Yeah.
But back to what I was saying. So I had a few people.
He runs hot.
Yeah, same.
Well, some people just sweat more.
I sweat more.
So I had a few people over last night, and we did a little FIFA tournament. And then
Who'd you go at? Which team?
we did international randomize, where you just randomize 5 times.
We were France.
We were
Mbappe,
France,
maybe
so we
you've
got
heard
the
of him.
best team.
Oh,
He's
of course
fast.
you're
He's
going to
fast,
win.
yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, so we won that, but then afterwards we had this Biscoff cheesecake from Woolworths, and it's like an in-house
Jesus Christ,
Woolworths.
guys.
Like, I've never had it before.
Hell of a celebration.
I'm religiously healthy with my diet, but like I was like, it's my birthday. I've always wanted to try this. I'll have the one off and try this cheesecake. And it was like a Biscoff cheesecake, and it was the thickest, like most calorie dense, richest thing I've ever eaten. But at the same time, it was probably the yummiest thing I've ever eaten in my life.
Really?
Really?
And then everyone left, and there was just half of it was just sitting there.
You had it?
I didn't have the whole thing, but I had a few more
Is there
before I
some,
through it out.
is that the best meal you've ever had in your life?
Best meal? No, but yummiest dessert / cake. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is this your what you know, the death row kind of
Last
final-
meal.
your last
you'll
meal?
ever have.
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
would your last meal be?
Cole's chocolate mud cakes.
Steak.
Steak?
A good grass-fed steak.
You can have a nice
yeah.
steak anytime you want.
Either chicken burgers or a good grass-fed steak.
Yeah, so I had a burger on a Thursday night after football training. My car still smells of burger, so I'm a bit off burgers at the moment.
Was it a flip side burger?
It was an upper hand burger.
Great
Oh,
time.
they're a bit dirty.
How dare
actually.
you.
Like in a good way. They're dirty.
Really
dirty. You know, the dirty.
They do
oily-
the Wednesday $5
dirty.
cheeseburgers.
Yeah,
brioche
yes, they
bun.
do. I was there. I was at Upper Hand yesterday.
Really?
Just got a quick cheeseburger with
For
a
lunch?
Was it also dirty?
Jesus.
Did you ask for,
yeah, it was-
did you
it
lean
was
over the
dirty.
counter and go, I'll have a dirty?
It's like shorter order. A short order is my favorite dirty burger. My favorite clean burger is Flipside.
Flipside, yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
thank you to the
Yeah.
sponsors.
How
Credit
bad
credit's
has
due.
grilled been lately? It's just gone down.
I
Decline.
don't
Shocking.
go. Don't
Great
go there.
decline.
Well,
Yeah.
why would you go when you got Flipside?
I've seen these guys often at Mrs. Brown's actually.
Did the
One time,
delay?
Sean reading a book and Ben just
Are you
chilling
read
out
the
the
book
back, I
out
think.
like a cafe
Just
type of
chilling out
guy?
there.
100%.
Yeah.
And I've spoken to people at the football club here. I am a regular for going to the pub by myself and
Yeah,
just having
nice.
a beer. And it's really hard at the moment because the beer excess is making price of pints
Yeah.
incredibly expensive. And then having a read. I like if I've got a book. I don't have one at the moment. So
What are you reading? Oh, you're not.
not.
a
Or
few recos
doing
for you.
doing a bit of writing, do a bit of journaling, which is good. Keeps the brain ticking over.
You
But
like
I
sit on
enjoy
the
doing
corner of a cafe reading a book, smoking a cigarette with a glass of wine, waiting for chicks to walk by.
Yeah, basically. Yeah, it hasn't worked yet, but it will. No, I don't do that. No cigarettes. And no one comes up to me. And actually, it's quite awkward if someone does come up to you if you're doing that. And then like, who are you with? And you're like, but my book.
Nah, you don't need to say anything. Just
I'm
say
with
you
the
by
beautiful
yourself.
characters of the Three Body Problem.
What about playing chess by yourself at a
That
cafe?
Nah, I
was the
couldn't
book
do
you
it.
were reading.
Couldn't
Because
do
I
it.
remember when the series came out, I remember someone's talked about the Three Body Problem before, and it was like a Chinese book, and someone was reading it, and I remember
Was that
asking
new
them about
TV
it.
show?
Yeah, the
Netflix.
TV show wasn't as good as the book, would you say?
The
Yeah,
book-
they cooked it.
Because it's like written by this Chinese guy.
Is it written in Chinese?
No, translated. It was originally a Chinese book, but translated into
Translated.
English.
Well, that could be why.
Sean was reading in China in Mandarin, which I thought was really
yeah,
impressive.
so I had the Mandarin.
And loud as well.
I had the translation book out as well, like
Yeah.
reading how to translate that word.
It was reading it out loud. It was a little bit racist, but it was mostly
Sean
okay.
doesn't know Chinese. He's like, this is a great book.
I'm sure
One
it's
page at a time.
Chicks are gonna love
the
this.
chicks walk by.
Yeah.
Oh, what are you reading?
What are you reading?
Oh, let me read it to you.
This is my favorite Chinese book.
It's really good. I got the second book, my mate who read it and told me to read it. He was like, it'll change your mind, like alter how you see the world and all this stuff. I wasn't fussed. I wasn't fussed by it.
The Three Body Problem actually had a really interesting concept, which Ben is poo-pooing at the moment, but I actually thought it was pretty. It was.
About aliens.
I don't think Ben got it. That's the problem. Ben,
About space and
so
aliens.
our friend was like, "This is going to blow your mind. It's going to change your perception of the universe." And Ben's like, I'm not that fussed about it because you didn't get it, bro.
Okay. I don't get very, no book has been life-changing to me, but I don't get very emotional in books. I've cried reading quite a few books.
like
never
normal
in
people
movies.
or one day.
No, not normal. No. A lot of like World War II books.
Yeah.
Like,
Prisoner of Azkaban. Ben bawled his eyes out.
Oh no.
I
No,
cried
the
in the final
the
Harry
Hippogriff.
Potter book.
Yeah, when Dumbledore
sure.
dies.
You know what
John.
my mum used to do? You have to read the Harry Potter book before you're allowed to watch the movie.
Yeah, fair.
We had one book between us, so we would have to go chapter per chapter.
But
Not
if
joking,
you would read
not
it,
joking.
then he would know.
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah, but you
'Cause
wouldn't
you're
tell.
twins?
No, but you wouldn't tell them. You wouldn't spoil it. But then if you were the last person to read at night, you'd be like, "Well, I'm going to take on a couple more chapters here.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
gonna,
bullshit.
I'm going to read on."
Yeah, and we had. I remember. So we already had that battle, which was annoying. So one of us knew more than the other about the book because our parents didn't want to buy two books, and then you'd rock up to school and Can I swear in this podcast?
Sure.
And
We already
fucking
have.
John Walter. Fuck me. What a fucking psychopath. Sorry if you're listening, John. But
Sorry, John.
tell me where this sits on the scale of psycho ability,
Yeah.
or just psychoness, psychopathy is
Yeah.
what I'm looking for.
Yep.
He comes to school. The book had been released for less than 24 hours, and he'd read the whole book and started telling people, spoiler alert, that Dumbledore had died.
Don't spoil it again.
Too late. John Walter spoiled it to me. I'm
You're gonna
spoiling
ruin
it
it
for
for
everyone
everyone.
else.
Yeah.
By the way, it was released like 20 years ago. But how?
Still shouldn't
what
do it.
what kind of person goes forth and spoils it for en masse?
Yeah, someone did that midnight screening of the new Star Wars. Han Solo died, commented on it. Like I posted, I don't know, this was when I was year 8 or something, so it's probably my fault. Not even year 6, posted. So excited to see the new Star Wars movie, and someone comments, Han Solo dies. They've watched it like midnight
can't.
screening
I was
of the
in the
first
car
thing.
driving
It's
to
my
the
fault.
movies with my whole family, about to watch it, and halfway through the car ride, my dad goes, "Han Solo dies." He searched up the spoilers, and then halfway
Why?
through driving there, just tells us all he dies.
Why did
Great.
you do that?
So then I spoiled Avengers for my brothers
That's
What'd you
good.
say?
I haven't watched
when everyone
them.
died.
Iron Man dies.
Yeah.
A spoiler, they came back.
Doesn't
That was the
doesn't
one
Spider-Man
time.
die?
I'm not a movie crier. I'm not a movie crier. That was the one time I had to hold back tears. Was when Iron Man died.
Oh.
So hold
Pathetic.
on. Can I? So I'm
There's
not.
real things to be sad about.
I'm not into spaceman movies or whatever it is.
The Star Wars.
No, the
Spaceman movies.
fightmen, the Avengers and stuff. I
Marvel.
don't really
What do you
understand
say? Space? Do you call them spaceman movies?
Yeah,
Marvel's a spaceman.
aren't they? They're all spacemen.
Star Wars, Star
one's
Trek.
Literally,
Weird genre description.
who's the guy who listens to the 70s music?
Chris Pratt.
Chris
Yeah.
Pratt.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a spaceman, isn't he? Is he not in space?
Star Lord.
Star-Lord, correct.
Star-Lord,
yeah,
Campbell
I don't
knows all
even-
of them.
Anyway,
I know
but-
the lore.
So they all die by just dissipating, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
So you
'Cause
know
there's that
what's-
meme-
Like the calcium in the water.
there's that mean bastard. What's his name? You know the guy that
Thanos.
Yeah, Thanos, who
Thanos.
kills who gets
Thanos.
who gets rid of
Thanos.
What's his deal?
Thanos.
Why is he so grumpy?
I don't know.
He just decides did someone who took the jam out of his donut decides to disintegrate half the universe?
He was
or
thinking
something?
about overpopulation and carbon emissions, I think was the main.
Smart.
Made it real. Kind
Pray
of
to-
like
pray to
real life.
Thanos.
Yeah.
Climate change.
Big
was
nuclear
bothering
guy,
him.
apparently.
Yeah.
My Twitter algo is really deep into like movie related stuff, and I got into a thread which was like the biggest twists in movies. So I've seen the whole end scene of Avengers without watching any of the films. So I've seen them all dissipate. And poor bloody Spider-Man. It's sad. Why Spidey?
He's quite young. Yeah.
His Spidey senses
Yeah, and weren't-
extra tingly.
Extra.
I've never, with Game of Thrones, I've never experienced a TV series lose its way so badly. They literally, like, it got derailed so quickly.
That's a hot take.
And I blame the producers. And
Remind me of my hot take. I've got a really good hot take.
it's
for
just
later
like,
on.
it should be criminal, right? So because there's obviously talking about movies and everything, and like Lord of the Rings basically invented this. It's like the hero's journey, right? So a lot
Yeah.
of it's about you got to get to one place and defeat the greater evil. And like, so with Game of Thrones, the beauty of it was the hero's journey plus like so many of them. Like all these, they're going to get to one place. Like old Aya had to go down to the many faces God,
people,
and
yeah.
like other people had to go north. And
I didn't
people
like
had to
that
go
storyline.
here. Like
But all the different storylines.
Yeah.
And occasionally they.
in the
Themselves.
intersect,
Yeah,
and they
yeah,
all
yeah.
have different. They have different like along the way. You have different conflicts, and that's the hero's journey.
Yep.
And that the beauty about Game of Thrones was all that, and it was going really well, and every episode had so much content and information and detail. In the last two series, they're like, oh shit, we've run out of that because old mate's not writing any books. So let's just
I think they
have
ran out
these
of money. I
huge
think they ran out of money.
Huge battle.
action
Huge
scenes.
battle where you can't even see
Yeah.
it.
Yeah,
at
and it's like,
nighttime.
and you're just sort of sitting there watching the gore, and it's like there's no story. They just completely pushed away the story. Like there was that time when they went up north to battle the White
White
Walkers,
Walkers, yeah.
and like for the
you
entire
couldn't see the whole battle. It was
and
too dark.
for the entire that's an issue. But for the entire series prior to that,
Yeah.
or whatever it was, there was all this time build up, tension. So
The
when
Night King and then
yeah, so when you do get to a moment, you're like, holy shit, like that character's
Yeah.
dead now after we've been like, committed to his character for so long. And then they're just like all of a sudden they're there. Like all the heroes are there at once and then doing this battle and like it just lost its shine. Someone should be held accountable.
Well,
and he dies so nonchalantly with just gets shot by an arrow and he's just dead.
but
Bullshit.
from the first scene in the first
Another
episode
spoiler?
of Game of Thrones was a White Walker beheading
Another spoiler.
it's Stark or whoever was at the wall, and they are the major villain, and they all done in one episode, and then obviously there's the whatever happens at the end. But
Spoiler.
that didn't. Yeah,
wanna spoil
spoiler,
it?
massive spoiler.
Chick gets angry.
Yep.
Chick gets angry, gets stabbed by
The mad
incest
king,
lover.
the mad
Yes.
queen, the mad queen.
What's your hot take, Ben?
I don't know whether this is going to offend anyone. So first of all, attacking the water cop industry, and now I'm going to attack the dental hygiene industry.
Oh no.
I think the quality of
Teeth.
dental floss has been the lowest it's ever been.
Not that I would know.
I floss twice a day, and I've never had such poor dental floss in my life.
Wow.
Awful.
Twice a day?
Of course.
How
Mornings
is that
and
one
nights.
of those things where at the end of your life, if you could look back, how much time would be dedicated to purely flossing? It would be like 30
Not much.
days of like just non-stop flossing.
And not a
stacked on.
second wasted. Not a second wasted.
Well, I floss in the car.
You're kidding. You're driving.
Yeah.
How you're not really flossing then if you're driving. That's not proper flossing. You got to get right in.
Because what I do is
But not with the quality of dental floss these days, might I add.
you get
But they got
shocking.
those new things you stick in and out
Oh,
to
yeah.
get food out.
Don't get him started.
The Pixters?
Yeah.
Oh, I love them. I'm onto yellow. They go up in colours.
I
The
wait
size.
I wait for a red.
Can't wait to get to pink. That's my aim. No, red. You're right. It is red.
I wait for a red light. Is what I was going to say.
Oh, red
Not
light. I
talking
thought you
about
were talking about red Pixters.
And then I've got this light coming out of work where I can go really hard, and I go for the main bits. And then once I start driving, I just leave the floss in there, and then I go. But the reason is
the used floss.
it's still in my mouth, yeah. And then I just keep going because if you just get a long strand, you can use different bits of the floss, which
sure.
maintains its integrity. Because what the issue is the reason why it's stringy now is the environment.
Lost interest over
is
here.
because it's
No, interest.
No, I'm
Environment.
listening. I was just checking out so the cameras were still recording.
Yeah, quickly get this hot take on floss. Because it's stringy.
Dental floss, just to be clear.
Stringy-
Not fairy floss, which is still a strong supporter of.
Had fairy floss last night. I haven't had fairy floss. Haven't had fairy floss in decades. Had it last night.
That's
a
the
blast from the
twist.
past.
Did it melt in your mouth?
It was fucked. It was that good.
What
Yeah.
colour?
Pink.
Had to be pink.
Look, I
it
don't.
blue?
Come on, Ben.
Oh,
Oh, yeah, no, there is blue. Yeah,
blue.
true.
That
Was
pink,
it a date?
that was pink.
Was
on
it fairy
the-
It
floss
has to
on a
be a
date?
date. It has to be.
a
No
date.
one's having fairy floss.
Well, he
solo,
went
are they?
to a fairy floss place and sat down with his book and
Where do you
had
get
some
fairy floss? Where do you get fairy floss these days?
The circus.
You went to the circus.
Ah, Cirque du Soleil.
Good
Soleil,
Ah, oui.
Lucia.
Oh,
Very
c'est
good.
bon.
Very
Oh,
good.
Olympics into circus.
will
Very
be a
good.
next date.
Probably yeah. So the stringiness of the floss.
Wait, it was French, wasn't it?
The stringiness of the floss is because it's environmentally friendly. They had to change. They used to use a more plastic constitution of the floss, the fairy
Tearing
floss,
on
not
my
the.
heartstrings.
So
My two
you
loves,
had
the
to.
environment and,
So
and
now
dental floss.
the dental floss can, similar to fairy floss, break down in the elements a lot easier. So I know you're saying hot take. You don't like that. They're actually improving the dental floss.
This is why I
for the
raise these
environment.
hot takes so I can learn more.
Flossing or
I've got a
global
question.
warming?
I've got a dentist question. Can you have a dentist with bad teeth?
Yes.
Yes.
Just like having a fat PT.
Yes.
Yes.
There's plenty of those.
But like
Not like
a
having a
peace
fat
of mind, would you have a
Right.
dentist with bad
Like a
teeth?
skinny chef.
Can you trust a skinny chef? Yeah.
Can you trust a
Yeah.
skinny
Can you trust a
chef?
person with two first names?
Yeah.
Ben-
It's like a
Ben
footballer.
Lindsay. Sean
Lindsay.
Lindsay.
It's like a footballer with no hands. I wouldn't trust him.
Wouldn't you?
So yes, you would have a dentist with bad
Hand
teeth.
pass.
Yeah, for sure. Not bad breath.
Stump pass.
Not bad breath. But that's a.
You draw the line
that's
at
a-
bad breath.
Yeah,
but not
that's a
bad
personal.
teeth.
That's a personal preference.
Can we bring it right back to the football club?
Yeah, let's
Briefly,
bring this
because I
back
was going to
before
say we
wrap
don't
up.
want to
I probably
derail
should
your
go
day
train. I
because
should
you've got a
get
big
trained.
game. And I understand that you've got to prepare your body in various ways.
What's your pre-game?
Well, I was going to say, just in general, Ben and Sean as well, but Ben, because you've played 250, we'll start with you. What has the club meant to you? How many great people have you met through the club? Would you like to just speak kind of, I guess?
And then cherry on top, what's your biggest game day tip before a game?
Yeah. I don't have much to say.
Only 250
Speak
games,
candidly, my
10
friend.
I
years
would
ago.
just. I mean, I love the club and I love all the people at the club. That's why I've been here for 15 years, maybe even more. I think everyone that comes down here are really good, genuine people and good representatives of society, which is what I love. And I just love playing sport and being like, I don't know, group sport, being with a bunch of your best mates is always really great. So yes, I don't really have any hot tips, man. I've started doing massages. Before
Before
games,
Really?
yeah, back and
What
legs.
do
I
you
think.
like to do to get your mind a bit clear before a game? And
I just don't think about it much.
That's a good one, I think.
Yeah.
There's some people
Have a
that
nice
think about it too
breakfast
much.
with people. Don't overthink. Showers are tough though. My mind, I'm a big daydreamer in the showers, and I always think about like just imagining myself running down the wing and scoring crazy good goals. And it's never happened before.
Visualization.
But it works to your detriment because you overthink it, I think. But yeah, no, keep it pretty basic. I think that's probably helped me.
Go on.
Well, with football clubs, I have thought about this a lot. You get towards the end of the year, and this comes into my head almost every year because the thing about football clubs, especially amateur football clubs, is each season, each pre-season, there's sort of the same core, and you get the same sort of bones, but the flesh of the club really changes from year to year. So every year is a blessing. So you talk about your favourite people to play with. There's no guarantee that they're back next year. Like there's no contract for 2 or 3 years. It's like, so this first year I played with Cam and really enjoyed that. We've sort of kicked around a bit, G, but you might not be here next year, right? Like you never know. So you got to make the most of it because on a Thursday night or on a Saturday, they might not be the same people, which is really sad. Like you got to really make the most of every year, every training session, because you might not be playing with these guys. You might not be interacting with these guys to the same extent. Similarly, though, every year there's a bunch of new guys. Like we've got a few more Bunbury folk. Like they came down from Bunbury and they've come to the club and they've added so much, like Tomo, Louis, Bartos sort of thing, Simo as well. So you kind of, it's good and bad in the same way. So that's why you love Collegians, that's why you love amateur sport, because every year you meet new people, you meet beautiful people usually, and also they go away, so you've got to make the most of that time. That's that question, which is a bit of a ramble.
No, that's nice. I really like that.
But
it's a podcast.
you
We
just
like the
wanna put
long
your-
format answers.
But you got to make the most of it, like, and you don't want to get too emotional when you're out there. But you know, if I do get the chance to speak to people, maybe not today with the league because it might be next week, you don't want to give up your best spot. But if playing a grand final next week, you say, hey, look, these guys who you love, who you've trained with for the entire year, you've all made commitments, time, driving, like basically giving up your Friday nights.
Physical
kind of.
commitments.
Yeah, and like sort of tackling
Body on the
blokes,
line.
kicking blokes, risking injury. You've done it for an entire year, and you might not see them next year. So make the absolute most of it, like don't die wondering out there. And in terms of prep, I honestly think there's nothing you can do. I think the only thing you can do is sacrifice an old football to the football gods. So I have there's a hill that I go to, and before games with a knife, a sharp Bowie knife, rip out the bladder of a football.
So that's where our footballs have been going.
Yeah.
Well, not
Mate,
on the podcast. Don't
when
broadcast.
when the women's footy started coming in, Sean would take so many of those because they're smaller, easier to cut.
And then you do football incantations. So Gary Ablett, Jimmy Bartel,
Big Geelong guy.
yeah, Tom Hawkins, and you pray.
We
to
actually did it
football.
before CatChat every pod.
And then
so we
you-
had to wake up at like 5:30 just to get through the rituals.
And if you're desperate for a good game, a blood offering's like quite good. So you just like a little nick of your thumb, the blood goes down, and then you come back and you're ready to go. But
You want to
honestly,
kick the ball really far, then you actually cut your foot.
I remember playing Claremont, and like during the Claremont year, like you just took it so seriously, and you're like, oh, I'm not. And I didn't drink during the week, and like you drink a little bit on Saturday, but during the week, no, not before training. Fuck that, heaven forbid.
Before training, yeah.
or after training.
Or like 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
No way. You're not having beers at lunch. But then you play, and sometimes you play and you get in your own head. Sometimes you play okay. I remember one time on a Friday night just saying, fuck it, I'll have an 18th, I want to drink. Getting pretty pissed, and the next day playing really well. Like, I honestly think it just doesn't...
Not that deep, yeah.
I
Not
think
that deep.
if you can, and it's probably the worst advice, but if you can find something that works for you, then stick with it. But otherwise, it's kind of
Yeah,
random.
probably routine helps, whatever your routine is.
I don't know if it does. Anyway.
Yeah, I think for some it does, and some it probably doesn't.
Sure, you guys would have played with hundreds of people down at the club over the years as well.
Oh,
Yeah.
heaps.
Well,
Yeah.
it's hard because like people are like, what's your favourite memories? And you kind of just need to meander down a certain path, and you'll just remember lots and lots of things. So there's so many different funny things that would have happened down here over the journey. But I don't have any.
Oh, no. Oh, shit.
Well, thanks very much for coming down. Thanks to the club, Collegians Football Club, for letting us film here.
Peace and love.
Biggest
Yeah.
shout out, plug to Collegians Footy.
Good luck
We're all
to the
in
club.
over here.
Good
Yeah,
luck
it's
to
an
the club
exciting
today
time for
and
the club.
On the
Finest
up.
time.
Yeah,
But thank you very much, both of you, for coming on. Really
Thank you
appreciate
for
your time,
inviting us,
especially
yeah.
on a big milestone, 250 today. All the best. Hope you both
great luck.
have a cracker of a
Great
day.
luck.
Drink some water.
Yeah.
some water.
Thank you too.
And congratulations to what
Be
you
careful what
contributed to the club.
what vessel it's in.
Been an honour to play with you guys, yes, and make sure you drink your water out of a metal plate.
And
From
thanks
now
very
on.
much. Thanks very much if you guys are still listening or watching to the end. Really appreciate it. And we'll see you next week.
Go Collies.
Go Collies.
Go Collies.
Those.